Hi guys, it's 7:22 and I've sat down to answer the most requested question, or should I say most requested video. You guys have been asking how I study and what I study. So, a quick introduction. My name is Jay. I am currently 18 years old, living in South Korea. I go to a public high school in Korea. Not a foreign school, not like private, not anything, just a normal, regular school. And also, my stream is not science. It's not STEM at all. I hated that, so I went to social studies, and that is what I've learned for the last 2 years. Okay, and to make it very simple, the social studies stream, we only have 2 streams in Korea right now for high school. There is like the STEM, as you guys know, that learns science, and then the social studies. And there are 8 subjects you can choose from. There is life and ethics, ethics and ideology, Korean geography, world geography, East Asian history, world history, economics, politics and law, and social studies and culture. And I am currently taking politics and law and social studies and culture for my CSAT, but at school I'm currently learning life and ethics and social studies and culture. Last year I learned politics and law, Korean geography, and ethics and ideology. So it kind of makes sense how I choose 2 out of like the 5 subjects that I learned this year and last year. So those are my choices. And that's what you guys have been seeing me study a lot. So basically, yeah, I'll let you guys see the video of me being excited over something. Currently, I have my tests out with me right here. These are my official tests, by the way, so you're gonna see the real scores of my grades, and you're probably gonna think, how did you do so terribly on your first test? I did not study at all, and I did not know any materials that was even on the test, and I got called upon the teacher, and he told me to study, so I did. You're welcome. So the first one was in July, and guess what I got? I got a 16 out of 50. A 16 out of 50, 32%, and it was grade 6. You heard me, it was grade 6. And okay, I know you guys have like the ABC kind of rankings. In Korea, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the score is like, the number is lower, it means your grade is better. So what I potentially want is a 1 in my CSAT, and I got a 6. And I got a 6. And usually you need to have like over 47 in order to have a 1. Sometimes even 50 if the exam is really easy. But anyways, I took this in July. It says July right here, 7 July. Okay, and then I did not study for like a whole month, and then my homeroom teacher came up to me. He told me to study, so I was like, okay, I will. So after that, I started cramming exactly on August 28th. I got a 24. It was 5. You guys can see this. Oh my god. Can you guys see the circular thing? It says 5, right? A progress. And then a day later, I got a 38. Do you know what that means? I got a 4. And these like numbers in circles, they change all the time depending on how well your peers do and like how hard it was. So the line is always different. So it's not like if you get over 47 you're gonna get an A. It's always different. And anyways, after that I got like a book to do a lot of exam prep things, and then I just took only the mock exam sheets out of a workbook. And the first one I did out of that was a 3. I got a 40, which was like great. 40 out of 50, great, but I still had 3, right? The next one I got a 42, and it was a 2. And then I got a 45, which is also a 2. And this is out of 50, guys, not 100. And then for the next exam, I got a 44. this is also a 2. And I thought I would never get 1, but progress, guys. 44, 1. And you guys might be wondering, why is it the same again? It's different. If there are more harder questions, you can still get a 1 with a 44, but that's like really, really not common. Like, that's basically not going to happen in the CSAT. And then next, I also got a 44, and it was a 1. Okay, as you guys watched the video, I went from an F to an A in like 10 days. So basically how I did that was, there were 16 chapters on that specific subject, and mind you, I only studied that subject for like 9 hours a day, and then the other subjects I just studied for like 2 or 3 hours a day. So for those 9 or 10 hours of studying that subject, it was social studies and culture too. So there are 16 chapters, and I literally knew nothing about it. There were some parts that like I could get out by common sense, but it wasn't that I memorized anything or something like that. So I took a test sheet every day before studying anything, and I evaluated myself, right? If I got like 3 wrong and then saw which part of like the 16 chapters it's from, and then I'd go to the chapter and then memorize the chapter. And it just went on for the 10 days until my exam, like that. And I think it really made it easier for me to just, you know, memorize a lot of things. And it's really important to actually do test sheets before, because even though you memorize it 100%, there are still going to be some places that, like, some topics that you wouldn't understand if it's like on a quiz or something. Like for me personally, that happens. So I like to usually memorize and then do test sheets and then go to the exam room, but I had no time, so I did that backwards. But so I just wanted to tell you guys that there are pros in this, like pros and cons. Cramming is made easy. You can easily do cramming so well with this method. But then there are obviously the downsides, right? There will be some chapters that you will miss, that you won't be able to memorize because you simply didn't get it wrong during your test sheets. And for me, that was fine, because I reckoned that if I really didn't know the concept, I would have gotten it wrong anyways. But there are some questions that I would get it right out of pure luck, right? And if there are like multiple choices kind of a question, I'd make sure to go over all of them to make sure I knew each and every like option and knew why it was wrong or right. And I think that's really important, that you just don't skip it after knowing, oh, it's like B, and then just skip it. You have to actually make sure that you know why it's B out of the A, B, C, D, and like make sure you know why A is wrong, B is right, and then so on. I think that's also important. And also, something I did was called blank notes. It has something to do with like metacognition. So basically, you have a blank piece of paper and you write down everything you know. And I'm telling you, this is said easy. It is not easy when you're actually doing it. Like the first time I did it, it took me a whole ass an hour to finish a chapter, and that is like actually being quick. It was a short chapter. It takes forever to actually finish a whole blank note, and if you guys can do that, you guys basically know all the stuff. So what I like to do is grab a piece of, well, I usually use GoodNotes actually. I just open a new chapter on GoodNotes and I write down everything that I know from a certain chapter in black or blue, usually black, and then I'd get like my book, and then I'll get a red pen, or in GoodNotes just tap the red ink, and then I'd write down everything that I missed or didn't realize that it was on the concept paper, right? And then it would be a very easy kind of like a distinguished like thing to know what you actually know and what you don't know. Like if you just read through your notes and then think you memorized it, that is 100% wrong. You will never memorize. I mean, unless you have an IQ of like a fucking amazing person, it is very hard to just memorize. and know what you actually memorized and what you didn't, because sometimes I have this very terrible illusion of thinking that I've memorized all of the stuff on the paper, but then once I just get rid of it, I can't remember a shit thing, and that's a problem. That's a very big problem. If I go into the exam room and then I just forget everything, what's the point of studying, right? So sadly saying, the point of an exam is the results. I know I hate to say this, but results are important, and the progress is never gonna be really like evaluated, nor nobody's gonna see it either, unless it's your parents or like your peers or anyone. No one really knows about your progress, what you did to study, and they don't really care. They care about the results. And I mean, I'm saying this in a very standardized Korean type of way, because all we care are results. No one cares about the process, the progress, the process, nothing. So I'm saying that it's okay to cram. It's obviously okay to cram, and it's also okay to fail a test, but let's not cram. Let's try to actually be, you know, on track and do things that you're supposed to be doing instead of cramming like me. So I currently have about 30 days left till my October mocks. I will be studying very diligently,